Here we're starting out with a quick set of jump rope to help warm up the wrists. Several of the exercises in this workout are going to be placing a heavy emphasis on them. First off, we're starting out with probably one of the most wrongfully neglected back exercises, pull-ups. Granted, I totally get why they're left out of workouts. They're quite difficult, especially for beginners that aren't able to do them yet. For those of you that are looking to do your first pull-up but aren't strong enough to do so yet, I'd recommend performing the eccentric or lowering part of the movement in clusters of at least 3 seconds at a time, since 3 seconds of an eccentric movement is roughly equivalent to 1 repetition of that particular movement. Practically, this means that you can jump to the bar and lower yourself slowly and let the elbows fully extend over at least 3 seconds. Try to repeat this for at least 2-3 sets and gradually progress until you're able to perform the exact same eccentric for 7 to 10 seconds. In most cases, if you're able to do 3 consecutive eccentrics for between 7 and 10 seconds, you should be able to do at least 1 full pull-up. Next up, we've got ring push-ups, which have quickly become one of my favorite exercises ever since I started using gymnastic rings in my workouts. One of the things that I love most about these rings is the extra layer of difficulty that they add to virtually any exercise without adding a single pound of resistance. Not only does this force you to brace your core, but also improve stimulation of the muscle group that you're targeting by forcing you to stabilize yourself on the rings, as opposed to performing the exercise on a stable surface like the floor. They also let you explore a whole new range of motion that you wouldn't have access to if you were forced to stop the moment your chest touches the ground. So they give the added bonus of increased mobility and a greater stretch at the bottom of the movement. This lengthens the overall eccentric component and increases the muscle's overall time under tension, resulting in a much greater workload and adaptation than a standard push-up. I've found that this variation in particular is much easier on the wrist than a standard push-up since they no longer have any tension placed on them while they're in an extended position. This is especially helpful for anyone who often omits push-ups from their routine due to the added strain on their wrists. If you're up for it, give this variation a try and let me know in the comments below how it goes for you. Here we've got some ring rows, which are truthfully one of the main reasons I invested in a set of gymnastics rings in the first place. I'm someone who performs most of his workouts at home, and one of the downsides of bodyweight workouts is that there are countless possibilities for pushing exercises. But unless you have some sort of setup like a set of rings or a barbell and a power rack to pull yourself towards, your options for horizontal pulling movements are pretty limited. I can't stress enough how important it is to maintain a balance between opposing muscle groups. Not doing so can lead to some serious muscular imbalances where you'll develop an overactive chest and weak back muscles, which can result in issues like poor posture and back pain. I'm looking to progress to a slightly wider grip in my upcoming workouts, which shifts the focus of the row from engaging the back and arms to placing a heavier emphasis on the back. Taking the arms out of the equation can have a significant impact on the difficulty of the exercise and heavily alter the engagement of the back. Next up, we've got ring dips, which are another one of the exercises that persuaded me to get a set of gymnastics rings, with one of the main benefits being the increased level of shoulder stability associated with them. It was absolutely insane how much I struggled to stabilize myself the very first time I performed this exercise, and it really made me realize that I've got a lot of work to do in the realm of shoulder stability. Just like the ring push-up, I find that I'm able to get a much deeper range of motion using the movement of the rings than if I were to perform them using a standard dip bar. By focusing on keeping the rings closer together, you can engage the chest significantly more than if you kept your arms at shoulder width. This can be especially helpful for people who struggle to feel the chest when performing regular dips, and one of the main benefits that I like to highlight about this exercise. Finally, we've got Bulgarian split squats, which for those of you that are already familiar with them, already know can cause a pretty crazy burn in both the glutes and the quads. On top of that, the fact that this exercise is only performed with one leg causes you to engage your core to help stabilize and keep yourself upright, all while creating a huge overall lower body burn effect. This is definitely one of my go-to top picks for leg exercises that don't involve the use of barbells or dumbbells. If they begin to become too easy using your body weight for anything beyond 12 reps, I'd highly suggest adding some weight, like I've done here using a weighted vest. My general rule of thumb is to keep at least 2 reps in reserve at the end of every set except for the last one, where I typically go to failure. This ensures a good mix of both building strength and muscle growth, or hypertrophy, while also not crossing into endurance training territory. All this to say, rather than aiming for the maximum number of reps during every set, avoid exhausting yourself early on in your set by going to failure. This is a surefire way to perform poorly on your subsequent sets and will result in this exhaustion-induced pyramid-like rep scheme. We all know the feeling where we're too tired to do more reps because we lifted too much too soon. Treat it like a marathon, not a sprint. And that's pretty much it for this workout. If you got some value out of this video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps it grow tremendously, and I'll see you next time.